For over a century, it's been a place fixated on the finish.
His name is Donnie Schatz. Let's change it to Donnie Knoxville.
But it all started with this half-mile circle of dirt.
Grandstands have grown around it, but the track itself has pretty much stayed where it started.
It was the horse track at the Marion County Fairgrounds.
They all had dirt tracks. You know, a lot of them raced horses in the early 1900s, and so that made a ready-made place for cars when that phenomenon came about in the middle of the 1900s.
Auto racing at Knoxville picked up speed after the Second World War. Weekly races began in 1954, and soon after that, the Knoxville Institution of Night Racing began.
And they decided it was too hot, too dusty. If they raced at night, they could keep the dust down. More people would be apt to come out on a Saturday night.
In 1956, Marion Robinson took over as the track promoter, and things would never be the same.
He's the one that came up with the idea for the Knoxville Nationals and came up with a large purse at the time, $5,000 for the purse, and that drew a lot of people back in 1961.
It was a time when the fairgrounds and the racetrack were in financial difficulty, and they were looking for an event or something that would bring in some more money to help keep the fairgrounds and the racetrack in operation.
It not only kept Knoxville in business, it moved the track into the forefront of sprint car racing. 54 years later, the Nationals remains the sport's pinnacle. Ironically, the race has never been won by an Iowan. Mike Brooks came the closest in 1980 when, in this very car, he posted a perfect score in qualifying and started on the front row. But that night, heavy fog rolled in and the race was postponed until Sunday afternoon. Unaccustomed to racing on a hot, sunny track, Brooks burned up his tire and lost to a newcomer named Steve Kinzer. It was hardly a dark day for Knoxville, though, as Kinzer would go on to win 11 more Nationals and become the sport's biggest star. And that seems about right. This is a place of champions rooted in a half mile of dirt. In Knoxville, Andy Fales, Channel 13 News.